Sports, man. Yo, we back with another one. Yo, man. So look, we're gonna go over some topics today. We're gonna talk about Jokic, man. Where do we rank Jokic as a all-time center, man? Let's start with Marlo.
Man. Hey, I gotta really get my notes here. Jokic caught me off guard with this. He leapfrogged a couple people, man. He leapfrogged a couple people before he won this championship. I had some people over him, man, but now he didn't found his way into the top 10. So I'm not even gonna just say exactly where I rank him right now. I'm just gonna read y'all my top 10. How I got it. Is it center? Are we doing just centers or big man? Period.
Let's do centers right now. Let's do all time centers. Okay. So where does Jokic rank in the all time centers right now?
So for all time centers, I would have to put Jokic at. Let me see. I would have to put Jokic at. Hold on, I gotta redo my list because I had some power forwards in there. Hold on, let me fix my list real quick. Man. Let me fix my list real quick.
All right, Seth, you got yours together. You know who you got in the top 10. And does Jokic your top 10?
So this is we're just coming off of 72 hours of Joker being an NBA champion. So I don't want to jump off the bridge and be capping and just being like, oh, Joker top 3. Just off the top. I am a little bit high on the Joker, the wave right now because I've been supporting the young man, and I'm happy to see him finally cross that the level to the great though. But right now, I think I can easily go. He's between 6 and 10 for me, and this is when I say that. 6 through 10, because there's only 4 centers that's undeniably over him. And when I go with those 4, I'm gonna go with, of course, Bill Russell. I'm gonna go with Will Chamberlain, Shaq, and Kareem. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go. Those are my 4 that you can't really argue right now that Joker's over those guys because they got everything he got plus some. I will say right now there is a fair argument. You could have a nice debate between Joker and Hakeem. Olajuwon. But I think Olajuwon's still gonna come out on top just for being what he is and what he represents for the big man. But Joker is right number 6 behind those 5 gentlemen. And when I say the 4 people that got it behind him, now this is not on my notes and nothing. That's why I say I want to cap. But David Robinson would probably be 7 for me. Patrick Ewing is probably my number 8. Got to put George Mikan in there, the forefather of it all. And then it's probably okay. Oh yeah, you got to put 5 championships. The forefather of it. You can't say George Mikan. You can't say Bill Russell. A lot of cats be just thinking like the league. The NBA started with Bill Russell. No, the league started with George Mikan. If you really know your history, so. And then it's probably another guy, Moses Malone, or I'd probably go Moses Malone with my 10.
Okay, that's a fair 10. That's a fair 10. Yeah. So, Marlo, you got yours together, man? Because he came strong with it. I ain't gonna lie.
He did. He did.
Top 10 is pretty.
It's for the love of the game, baby.
He did. I would say he has a lot more respect for the. See, you know what I'm saying? Stats got a lot more respect for the old school than I do, man. I honestly, I feel like the George Mikans, the Will Chamberlains, the Bill Russells, and guys like that, they're like, they should have like their own list because the league was just, I can't, like 2 rounds. You got guys winning championships playing 2 rounds of the playoffs. You playing in an 18, you know what I'm saying? Playing against 8 teams in the league, and you know what I'm saying? You got guys like Bill Russell who is you playing on the team and you the coach at the same time. Like, just a lot of weird stuff was going on back then. So, I have a hard time ranking them guys because the game was so different. Seemed like, you know what I'm saying? It seemed like a 24-hour fitness pick. A little bit.
I want to say, as far as, okay, see, when it comes to old school dudes, for me, It's not so much what they're hold on, let me roll this window up, get that back. But it's not so much what they resume is as much as that what they represented. Because here's the thing about the old school cats: if there was a bunch of star-studded big man running around right now, a lot of these cats would be irrelevant. We wouldn't be talking about George, Mike, and Mose and Malone. The thing that what makes them
it ain't enough of them. It ain't enough to overshadow them.
They did what they did, and then we went 20 years without a decent big man. Shaq was really the last big man before Joker, Giannis.
Joel Embiid.
We had a few people in there, you know what I'm saying, but not no dominant. I'm running my team. The team runs through me type center.
Yeah.
Dwight Howard was the closest thing, but Dwight Howard is 6'9". You know what I'm saying? Him and LeBron the same height. So I say when it comes to the legends, it's just more so a question I'm asking to you, more so than a statement. It's just like, would you say what they represent doesn't hold some status when you ranking them? Because there's not a lot of cats we can just say within our time watching basketball. That we can go down the list and be like, oh yeah, in the 90s, we naming the cats our pops' name. You know what I'm saying? We ain't naming those big people raised on. We was raised on Tim Duncan, a power forward, Kevin Garnett, power forward, Amari Stoudemire, power. These cats were still athletic and agile. They wasn't legitimate big men. So I'm just asking, do you hold their what they represent? Do you count that in your ranking?
I will say that, they paved the way and stuff like that, but it's kind of the same way that I rank like when I rank the top not to get off topic, but when I rank like the top rappers of all time, like I'm not gonna come with, I know Run DMC was doing their thing and all this like run put the run. I know that was dope from back then, but I can't really put them in the top. I can't really rank them. I can't really rank them because it's so I don't want to sound disrespectful, but it was so ancient that it's like you can't really put that up against a Jay-Z or a Biggie or a Kendrick Lamar or somebody like that, because it's more complex. But back then with the basketball, like with Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain and not even just the centers, like with Jerry West, Oscar Robertson, a lot of those guys, like it just seemed like the league was so small, like the pool was so small. It's almost like you looking at like somebody swimming in a pond, and then like you fast forward to like the 80s and 90s, and that pond became an ocean. You know what I'm saying? So it's like completely different. Like I don't know. It's easier to be a big fish in a small pond than it is to be a shark in the ocean. That's just how I look at it. But I'm not to disrespect them guys, because without them paving the way, it wouldn't be no, you know what I'm saying, it wouldn't be no Shaq or Kareem, like the guys that came later on. It wouldn't be no Hakeem and guys like that. But it's just, I just feel like the league, the NBA was just such in an infant stage. Like I didn't feel like it drew as much attention and as much talent as it did once the 80s came. Once the 80s came, really after the 70s also, because, and then also you got to look at, you had a whole nother league that was arguably like until Dr. J came to the NBA, the best player in the world didn't even play in the NBA. A lot of people felt like Dr. J was the best player in the world, and he played in a whole different league than the NBA. So like before the merger happened, I it's like, to me it's like I rank players that came after the merger and players that played after the merger and players that didn't play, and you know what I'm saying, after the merger, players that played before the merger. So it's like two different type of leagues. It's two different NBAs. And then also you gotta look at the racial discrimination back when Bill Russell, especially George Mikan and all them played. Like they didn't even let a lot of black players play in the NBA. So it was like they limited the amount of black players that they would allow in the league. So that diluted it as well. Like you had a lot of players that were sitting out. Like we was just watching the movie, me and my fiance, the other night. Earl the Goat Manigault, like he was probably the best player in the in the world at one point in time, and he never even played in the NBA. So I don't know. It's a lot that goes into that.
Let me ask you this, and I want to ask you this too, Jay. Like, is it fair to? Because I feel like, okay, in 20 years, we will still be fairly young men. You know what I mean? With probably a little bit more salt and pepper on top, but we'll still be vibrant and talking and giving our two takes on stuff. Would you say in 20 years, if the NBA expands to like they got a European team, we got a Russian team, we got a African team, and then the young boys that's like 10 right now, they'll be 30 in 20 years, and they gonna say this. If they say the same thing, like how couldn't we say that Steph Curry was that great when he didn't play against these Chinese players? You feel me? Like these Chinese boys do. You know, I mean, this is we don't know what the future brings. Exactly, and this is what I'm saying. Bill Russell and them didn't know either. They had to just play the man that was in front of them.
Yeah, that's true. Like, I mean, that is true. It's not their fault. I'm not blaming them. Yeah, I'm not blaming them. Yeah. It's not their fault. But,
now, wait. Let me ask you this too, Bo. Now, if Bill Russell only won, let's just say Bill Russell, he 11-1 in the finals or something like that. If Bill Russell was 4-7, you know what I'm saying? Are we still talking about Bill Russell, one of the greatest? We gonna probably hold him, give him some respect, but it's like, man, get this trash ass, get this you big for nothing. You know what I'm saying? That's what we gonna be holding him. Versus, alright, the man dominated a whole century. Let's give him. He got a whole MVP name after him. So I'm just asking you that, bro. Is it fair to suspend? Kind of handcuff these dudes because of the era they played in versus what they did? Actually, what?
No, it's not. It's not. I mean, it's not their fault. I'm not trying to say I blame them. But it's just it's a victim of circumstance, man. It's a I mean, if they played in this era, maybe Bill Russell is still who he. I mean, he ain't winning no 11 championships, but maybe he's still a great player and is a defense stopper, all that. Will Chamberlain again. I don't think he would have did what he did back then. But that's what I'm saying. Like because it was so like it wasn't that many people back then. It was easier to to everything is on steroids. Like you can average 50 points a game. You can get 50 rebounds in a game, 100 points in a game. You can win 11 championships. Like you can do all that. Like a lot of people don't know. Bill Russell for his career, he averaged 18 points a game on like 44% shooting from the field. Like that's not really that, and that's not really that. That's not moving me, really. But he had a lot of great players playing with him as well. And then when you add that to the fact that there's only 8 teams in the league, so by the time you finish the regular season, they were giving them buys. Like just like when you play in the league, like you play in a rec league, and there's not enough teams. In the first round, if you a top team, you gonna get a bye, so you don't even gotta play the first round. Like obviously, I mean, people say, well, they were gonna beat the lower seed anyway if there was one. I mean, obviously that's not true because we just saw the Bucks lose to the Heat in the first round, first seed versus A seed. We've seen Dallas Dirk's Mavs in 2007 lose to an A seed in the Warriors and Baron Davis and Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes and them boys. So I mean, it's easier to win championships when you don't have to go through that. I mean, you could say it's a foregone conclusion, but it's really not. So that's just my take on it, man. I feel like them guys had it way too easy. And then when you limit the amount of, it's only 2 or 3 black players to a team, when all the best players in the world might have been black, but you gotta limit how many black people can be on a team. Like so now you taking out the competition, just like in the MLB when they had the Negro leagues and everything like that. When Satchel Paige might have been the best baseball player in the world, but he couldn't play in the MLB because he was black. They finally let Jackie Robinson in, and then they finally started letting black players play. When a lot of those black players that they was keeping out of the league were 10 times better than the white players that they had in the league.
You got a point. No, I ain't gonna lie. Both of y'all got good points. Y'all got good points. You know what I'm saying? Like, But I mean, honestly, I gotta lean more so with what Marlo said here, man. You know, like the competition just wasn't there back in them days. You know, like, but both of y'all do have good points though. So it's like I'm seeing both sides of the boat here. But
and I'm not trying to disrespect players from back then because without them, like I said, it wouldn't be no like they paved the way.
Yeah, they paved the way. You know, of course, like. Who was Shaq watching? Like, who is all these people watching to be great? You know what I'm saying? So, right. Yes, of course, they paved the way, you know? So, but, I mean, both of y'all got good points, man, but, damn, it's like, man.
And that's one of the things.
The way Stats broke it down, I never looked at it that way. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't never looked at it that way, you know? So, y'all both got points, man, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I mean... But just getting back to the topic. Now that you changed it to just centers, damn, I don't even got. I'll have to like kind of freestyle the ones after Joker because I deleted all the ones I had, and y'all has a couple power forwards in there. I had him kind of low.
Well, I'm interested to know. I'm interested to see what your list look like as is. Like where you got Joker amongst the bigs anyway. Yeah, I mean. That's an interesting. That's an interesting idea because there's a lot more. I mean, if you count the power forwards, you got the Tim Duncans, KGs, Kevin McHale's.
Yeah.
I honestly would say Tim Duncan gonna knock a Bill Russell out of the top 10 for big man. You know, for me.
Most definitely, yeah.
Not KG gonna knock Will Chamberlain off the. You know what I'm saying? Because he just off of what I'm gonna say a little bit of recency bias, but also. These brothers produced a little bit more in their peaks. You feel me? Like I won't say Will, but you know, just being, I would choose somebody a little bit more like that. Sorry, Will brothers. I would choose somebody like
that. And then you know, with Bill Russell, man, he got derailed by injury too. So I don't even know if that's fair to put him there. You know?
Yeah, exactly. That's another thing. You know, what would Greg Oden be if that got injured? But you know, that's another conversation.
That's a whole different conversation.
What was Sam Bowie?
I feel like Bill Russell would have been that dude if he would have never got injured.
You said Bill Russell would have been that dude if who would have been that dude if he never got injured?
Bill Russell.
Bill Russell was. I mean, he was what he was. You talking about the Bill Russell from the Celtics?
Oh no! I'm sorry, not Bill Russell. I'm tripping. Hey, for some reason, I thought. Now look, for some reason I thought we was talking about what's Luke Walton daddy, Bill Walton. I thought
Bill Walton. Oh no, I still got him up there. Hold on, let me just to get this topic out the way, let me say my top 10 centers. Well, yeah, I'm a freestyle the last 3, but the top 7 off the top, I mean, you know that I actually have listed is Kareem number 1. I got Shaq number 2. I got Hakeem the Dream number 3. I got Moses Malone number 4. I got Bill Walton number 5. And I flipped it around with my boy Stats, man. He had Joker at number 6 and David Robinson number 7. I got David Robinson number 6, man. I had to give David Robinson the nod because when I look at these two players matched up, and this could change, you know, obviously Joker's young as hell. He's probably gonna pass him. He might pass him next season. But right now, David Robinson's defensive accolades are a little bit too much. David Robinson got way too many All-NBA defensive teams for me to put Joker over him. David Robinson got 2 rings, 1 MVP. He ain't got no finals MVPs. But David Robinson has like, I got to look at it again, but I know he has 6+ All-NBA defensive teams. And Joker got 0. So I had to put David Robinson over him because he did it at both ends of the floor. The number one guy on he's been the number one guy on defense on his team and offense at the same time. I value defense a lot, man. And then I got Joker at number 7. After Joker, I would probably go Patrick Ewing. After Patrick Ewing, I would probably have to go it get murky. It get real murky after Pat Ewing, man. I probably have to go. Dwight Howard at number 9, and number 10. Number 10, Joel Embiid.
Damn, that's crazy. So, Wilt's not in your top 10.
Nah, man, I told you I don't rank them. I don't rank them at all. I'm not saying that he's better or worse than anybody I just named. I just don't rank him or Bill Russell at all, just because they played in that era that is just, it's just hard for me to look at that and rank it proper. I don't know how to rank it. Like, how do a nigga?
I agree with you.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody scoring 100 points in a game and averaging 50 points a game, like, but you playing against only 18. There's only 8 teams in the league. Like, it just doesn't.
Okay.
So it's only 8 different guys that you got to go against. I don't know, man. I just have a hard time ranking them, man. I can't rank them.
I get where you're going from. I like your grading scale in that regard. You know what I mean? Because the legends do have it's almost like an advantage. But I try to shoot on bail when I say, you know, like, it was just the time. You know, like right now there's 30 teams in the NBA. Another 10, 20 years, bro, it's gonna probably be 35 teams in the NBA. And then, you know, the young boys that feel like Zion, who gonna feel like Zion to go? Who gonna feel like, you know, who to go? Bro, that's just gonna go. They gonna control the narrative. You gotta, and it's gonna be just irrespective of the time. Because at one point, it was unarguable to say that Will Chamberlain and Oscar Robertson wasn't the GOAT. At one point, you know, that if you would have said Will and Oscar Robertson wasn't the GOAT, you would have been laughed out the room. And that was our granddaddies and they uncles and they best friends. But now, you know, we were like, man, get them old niggas up. Man, LeBron, you know, that's how we talk. Because we control the narrative now, you know what I'm saying? They ain't gonna put no Oscar Robertson highlights on no ESPN, bro.
Nah. Back then you had guys shooting underhand. You know how you teach your kids when they not strong enough to get the ball up to the rim. You got guys shooting under. You got guys. People. You know what I'm saying? People was in the league really shooting free throws like that, like the underhanded, like throw it up like this. They was really shooting free throws like that. It was guys in the NBA shooting free throws like that.
Cause bro, it was illegal at one point to shoot overhand. Did you know that? It was illegal.
They all wasn't doing it though. Only some of them was.
Hey, what's the Barry? What's Barry that you know them Barry brothers?
Brent Barry, John Barry,
Rick Barry.
Yeah, Rick Barry was his name. Yeah, you right.
Yeah, Rick Barry. Yeah, he shot the granny shot.
Yeah, the granny shot. Like, they was really doing that. And then when you look at, and then another thing about that era, when I watch the highlights and stuff like that, I'm watching them and like I'm seeing the point guards are dribbling with their head down. They only dribbling with one hand. They can't dribble with they. You know what I'm saying? They right-handed. They can't dribble with their left. Not all of them. Not all of them. You know, you had Pistol Pete.
It's not 32. It's not 30. It's not 30 elite point guards in the league.
No, bro.
You know, when we watch them, we know what we watch.
But look, bro.
Not every team has an elite point guard. If you look at Terry Rozier's elite, nah.
If you look at the league back then, like you look at them, just watch one whole game, man. You gonna see hella right-handed bandits, bro. Guys that could only dribble with one hand. The right hand bandit. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're talking when we was kids.
I watched the whole game from Oscar Robertson, and he was a right hand bandit.
A right hand bandit, bro. That's what we used to call him when we was kids. When we was kids, when a dude ain't had no left, he was a right hand bandit. Like he couldn't dribble. Like in this, it was a lot of them in the league back then. Like they could not dribble with they left.
But you know what it wasn't? There was no Kawhi Leonards back then. There was no Sean Marions. There was no dudes playing the passing lane in such an elite way where you had to, you know, switch it up. The only reason why cats start, you know, evolving the game is because I like you say, your defensive guy, the defense start getting better. So So we can't sit here and just have these dudes walking up the court looking like Brown. No. Now, hey, I need my point guards going left or right. You know what I'm saying? That's how it looked in the 60s. In the 70s, I need my point guard going in between the legs. By the time we get to Jordan, I'm going to say Jordan, Tyree, Steph, oh, bro, come on, bro. Like, you know, the stuff that niggas doing now is it's literally illegal in the 60s. Like, you know what I'm saying? They committing abominations now with the ball. But, like